Hey guys, what's up? It's Katie and I'm back with another Marvel Contest of Champions video. And today we are going to be looking at the MCOC Wishlist poll, those characters that Kabam should add to Marvel Contest of Champions as playable characters. Now specifically, we are going to be looking at those who are ranked 250 or higher and those who should have more votes. So these are the champs that I think should get more votes to get them below the top two, or to get them within the top 250. So without further ado, let's get started with the number one vote, and that should be Snowbird. Now, Snowbird can mystically assume the form of any animal that is native to northern Canada. Now, she should have a synergy with, Guardian and Sasquatch. She gains each animal's abilities and attributes such as strength and speed. Snowbird also has mystical senses that allow her to detect magical energies, sense the presence of great mystical evil, and achieve limited post-cognition. So basically, she can perceive events that happened at her current location within the past 6 hours. So her connection, though, to the gods gives her limited precognitive ability. She naturally possesses flight, superhuman strength, advanced cellular rejuvenation, and superb stamina in her human form. She's also able to resist teleportation, the mental ability to compel others to aid her, so basically she can have others help her, and she has a healing factor that are called, it's basically called the healing glow, and it allows her to heal herself almost instantaneously. So we could be looking at some awesome like mystic ward built in, kind of similar to Angela's signature ability. She could have a form of great regen. I mean, she could really be a super fun champ to have added to the contest. So the next one is Null. Now, if you participated in the MCOC March Madness, you know that Null won, and yes, I won the bracket with that, but that's neither here nor there. Now, Null has been around since the dawn of the Marvel Universe. He basically created this living sword out of his shadow, which is amazing. So he forges a sword and the first race of symbiote. So any symbiote is basically created thanks to Null. So the Null bonds his living abyss with lesser creatures, therefore he's able to draw strength from them and control them. He is now their god. Yes, Null is essentially the symbiote god, or more or less god host. So he can see through their eyes and control them even from across galaxies. Now, like I said, these quote-unquote aliens would later be known as symbiotes, so that's why we have Venom. And he would also create a planet to act as a throne world for his conquest. So, and basically too, this planet was actually created out of his creatures, allowing him to corrupt any being that dared to enter his domain. So I don't know if Null could necessarily be a playable champ in this game, but oh my goodness gracious, the amount of abilities this guy could have, I can't even begin to describe. He would for sure be a cosmic champion, and he could just be a beast. He could definitely be a foe among any symbiote that you come across. So he could be the answer to, Venom, Venom the Duck, Agent Venom, any of those champions, which he sure would give a run for their money, or he could also help to enhance them through a synergy on the team. So now let's talk about one of my favorite champs, and it's because I kind of like to live in the darker world of the Marvel comics, and that is Hellstrom. So Damien Hellstrom was possessed a vast degree and array of mystical powers, basically because he is quote-unquote the son of Satan. And there's a story arc that kind of goes into there that he's really not, but we'll get into that maybe later. So he basically has a demonic heritage, which is his quote-unquote dark soul, and the netherendum trident stolen from his father. He has the strength of 100 men and is more durable than the average human. He can use mystic energy to augment these attributes greatly. He commands both earthly fire and soul fire, which can be used as like a force blast and to harm any entity's spirit. He uses the trident to channel this energy as well as to blast it behind him, which enables him to fly. So kind of think of it almost similar to Namor's trident, but not really. So he basically does an array of spell-like powers. He can do interdimensional time travel through hell. He can affect teleportation of himself and others. He's shown an impressive use of power over time. He's basically also traveled to ancient history and on other occasions manipulated the temporal flow to manifest sunlight when battling a vampire. He can also sense occult energies, heal himself and others, and tear through the minds of others. But since becoming a lord of hell, he's conceivably as powerful in in his own realm, such as like beings as Mephisto, Saitanish, or Thog. So he would be really kind of boosted up by these champions. He could definitely have like some great healing factors. He could have some really cool powers. I think he would be an awesome mystic to have added to MCOC. So speaking of some crazy mystics to be added into MCOC, can we talk about Shikla? Shikla has a great deal of power at her disposal, and with this power usually comes boosted strength, speed, and supernatural level of beauty and magical powers, especially dealing with illusions and mental manipulation, Now, she was supposedly to be the bride of Dracula, which we all know is one of my faves and my #1 that I think should be added to the MCU, but that's neither here nor there. Now, also, she fell in love with Deadpool, and there's a huge story arc between Shikla and Deadpool, which would take, oh my gosh, hours upon hours of video to talk about because it's just that good. If you haven't checked it out, definitely go check it out. Now, she can change. She has physical changes, which includes fangs, claws, pointed tail, and wings. She basically kind of turns into a dragon. Now, she has superhuman strength and speed. She's even defeated Blade. She can transform herself into a true form, which basically is a large demonic looking reptile, kind of like a dragon, with purple skin, 4 horns, and a maw full of razor sharp teeth. Basically, she's got a jaw full of sharp teeth. Now, the kiss of death that she has is pretty cool, and she also has an enslavement beam. So basically it's a beam of energy that causes anyone to fall under her spell, and that's kind of what happened to Deadpool. So and she's also a succubus, and I'm not going to go into all the details of what succubi are, but if you want, definitely just, well, Google it. Now, she can also absorb the life forces of those around her, whether it be through a kiss or, well, some good old-fashioned hanky-panky. But Shikla could be an amazing mystic. She could definitely rival Clairvoyant in that aspect. So, kabam, please add Shikla. She's one of my faves. She's a HBIC by so many standards. And speaking about mystics, well, this one really wouldn't be a mystic. I guess this would be a cosmic, or maybe a combination of both. Can we talk about adding Cosmic Ghost Rider, aka Frank Castle? I mean, listen, Frank Castle is Ghost Rider. This is a great storyline. I was actually introduced into this about a year or so ago. I didn't even know really too much about Cosmic Ghost Rider prior to this, but Cosmic Ghost Rider basically goes back to to kill baby Thanos, but he realizes that when he does the penance stare on baby Thanos, that baby Thanos actually hasn't done any evil yet because, hello, he's a baby. But he becomes one of the heralds of Galactus, and he's pretty much immortal and can fire energy blasts from his hands. Now, like I said, of course, he's got the penance stare, and he can also manipulate hellfire. There's a bunch of story arcs with Cosmic Ghost Rider that would take me hours upon hours to go through, but he is one of the, he should be like within the top 200 for the most requested champs in MCOC. I mean, guys, if you don't know about Cosmic Ghost Rider, you definitely need to look this guy up. All right, so let's talk about Hellcat. Yes, Patsy. Now, I know what you're thinking. She was kind of lame in Jessica Jones, because that is not the Hellcat that we deserve. So the Hellcat that we deserve is, of course, Patsy Walker, who has the demon sight perception that allows her to sense mystical phenomena or those items or persons tinged with mystical energy, She's also surrounded by a mystical field that can deflect mystical attacks. It also allows her to summon a costume that mystics her original Hellcat costume, so which we can see here, which, in case you don't know and you want to know more, go check out the Tigra history video that I put out, because yes, that is the video, or excuse me, the costume that Tigra wore before she became Tigra, when she was just known as the Cat. So Hellcat actually once possessed psionic abilities due to the mental stimulation of Moondragon technology and training. Now she could move small objects telekinetically, resist mental control, and on one occasion was actually able to generate a psychokinetic force blast. So talk about some crazy things that this chick can do. Now her costume also gives her enhanced strength and agility. The gloves on her costume have steel tipped claws, so we could actually see another champ with some rupture, although I would like to see her inflict bleed on those champs who are not bleed immune and rupture on those champs that are bleed immune. But Hellcat could be a super fun champ to play. She could be a skill. She could have some, ability accuracy reduction in there. So she could definitely, it would be kind of hard to determine which class she would be. She could kind of be mystic. She could be skill. It's kind of hard to determine which she would be. So I know we talked a little bit about the Heralds of Galactus with Cosmic Ghost Rider, but I got another one for you, Firelord. And I actually think that Firelord is potentially the next Herald that we are going to get, because I'm pretty sure we're going to be getting 4 Heralds of Galactus. So we've gotten Silver Surfer, we've gotten Terrax, we're getting Airwalker, and I'm pretty sure we are going to be getting Firelord next. But hey, that could be a topic for another video. So Firelord actually wields the power cosmic like a lot of the Heralds of Galactus, using it in the form of cosmic flames, and has essentially been given the power of a living star. He has the strength sufficient to lift 50 tons, superhuman reflexes and durability, traits basically common to all the Heralds. I mean, think about it. He's immune to the rigors of space and can travel faster than the speed of light. His durability has allowed him to take punches from, you know, guys like Thor and Drax while remaining conscious. So let that sink in for a little bit. He wields a cosmic staff that can be used to focus his energies, and he can reach extremely high temperatures, enough to effortlessly, keep blazing underwater in the middle of the sea, and as well as hot enough to hurt Silver Surfer. So that is just crazy, right? He can absorb heat at will, and he actually destroyed a meteor stated to be the size of a small planet without much effort. He can fly at speeds faster than light for, you know, quite a while. So we could basically see another Human Torch-like champ here with Firelord, who would obviously be cosmic like the rest of the Heralds, but we could see another kind of activation of a Nova Flame. So he should, in theory, be more powerful than Human Torch would with his quote-unquote flame on. Okay, so I know I talked about Damon Hellstrom, so let's talk about his, well, not as nice sister, Saitana. Now, Saitana is half succubus, kind of similar to Shikla. So Saitana is basically, with a succubus, she feeds on the souls of her victims. When she kisses her victims, it causes them to shrivel and release the soul in a butterfly-like form, which then she'll either capture the butterfly and eat it, or, you know, just flick it away. She's not very nice. Now, Saitana originally can release a powerful demon called the Basilisk, which returns to her, but each time she releases the Basilisk, it becomes harder and harder for her to control. So through the powers of magic, she can levitate, she can fly, she can use astral projection, she can fire blasts of hellfire to damage the souls of her victims and control the minds of others, alongside, you know, an exorbitant amount of other magical abilities. Now, when she actually takes people's souls, it increases her magical powers. Now, she can even use a weapon that has killed a person and take energy from that said person into the weapon. She has superhuman strength. She's able to lift like 10 tons without any mystical enhancement. So she's an HBIC too, no joke. She's actually been killed. She's helped out Doctor Strange, been killed, sent back to hell, and then kind of come back. So she almost has like a sense of immortality, because she just goes back to hell kind of, and then is basically quote unquote resurrected because, well, comics. And another champion I would love to see added is Bloodscreen. Yes, Bloodscreen, the kind of sort of arch nemesis of Wolverine, if you want to call it. Now, he's not actually a vampire, so he kind of is, but he kind of isn't. And I know what you're thinking. Wait, what? So he basically has none of their typical weaknesses, similar to Blade, but he does have their immortality, superhuman strength, speed, and reflexes. So he also has the vampiric ability to absorb and feed off the life force of people, either by their blood, by biting them, or just simply by touching their bare skin. So that's kind of crazy, because most vampires, they need to bite in order to steal the life force, and yada, yada, yada. So, but those people who actually manage to survive his death, or his touch, really are left with a scar in the shape of his hand. So, and then all of his other powers are basically sustained by his ability to absorb others' life force. He's capable into morphing into like a bigger, more grotesque feral version of himself, with elongated claws and basically huge razor sharp fangs. Now, he usually only takes this form when he's extremely aggravated or in bloodlust. So we could actually have him kind of maybe enter this form, so to speak, the lower he gets in health, or maybe after launching a special 3 or having a weakness debuff put on him, something like that. Now, he's capable of animating his drained victims and basically turning them into undead zombies that are under his control. And he's also capable of controlling humans simply by limiting the amount of blood he drains from them. So he's got kind of that going for him. Now, he does possess an insane healing factor similar to that of Wolverine's. And what makes it even more disturbing is that he maintains full autonomy of his body even if he's decapitated. So it's kind of crazy, and he cannot be killed by any sword or metal made by man. So he could be a pretty formidable foe here. He could definitely be kind of a stronger version of Wolverine in the game if we were to ever get him. And last on the list is Moondragon. Yes, Drax's daughter. Now, she has a vast majority of psionic powers. She has telepathy, which enables her to read minds. She can communicate mentally with others. She can actually control people's minds, alter personalities, and erase specific memories of others. She also has telekinesis, enabling her to move, lift, and manipulate most forms of basically physical matter using only her thoughts. She can levitate herself and others upwards into the air, into flight, create shields and barriers of pure psychic force, and fire blasts of concussive cytokinetic energy with sufficient strength enough to crack steel. Like she's a boss. Now, she can combine her telepathic and telekinetic powers into bolts of sheer psionic energy, such as concussive blasts that can stun the opponent or even render them brain dead and induce mental illusions in other people. But her powers are not without weaknesses because they are dependent upon her concentration. So we could kind of have like an Ebony Maw type character with her where, you know, if you break her focus, her attack decreases or something like that. But she could be a really fun champ to play, and there could be Kabam could really do a lot with her. But anyways, guys, that's all that I got. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of my top 10 champs on the MCOC wishlist poll? Do you think they should be ranked lower, or do you think they should stay where they're ranked above 250? Let me know in the comments below and let's discuss. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you guys liked what you saw and you want to see more, please remember to like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter and hit me up in the Discord chat. Thanks, guys. Bye.